the regular meeting is called to order, and could we have a roll call on that, please?
Sure. Beckwith?
Here.
Chang?
Here.
Farkapisi?
Here.
Ketman?
Here.
Katsinas?
Here.
Linzow?
Here.
Sutton?
Here.
Thank you, we have a quorum.
Okay, pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Warren Newport Public Library District provides the community with access to information, kindles the imagination of children and adults, and supports lifelong learning. Anybody want to speak in public comment? Okay. Okay, so, any correspondence? Doesn't look like it.
No.
Okay. So consent agenda is next. Anyone want to remove anything? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent as presented?
I move that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. Okay, so I know that we discussed that I was going to put the president's report on the consent agenda, but when Ryan and I really planned the meeting and realized that often I had things to add, and then it kind of goes into everyone else's report, which is oral, we decided to leave it where it was, so I hope that's okay with everybody. Questions, comments, or concerns about what I have in my report? Okay. I also have this to add. I made a copy for everybody. I wanted you to see the note that I wrote for the employees for the bonus note. So there's that. I'll give you a minute to take a look at that. That's not the final copy, that's just my copy.
Nancy Stricker does her magic.
Nancy works her magic and makes it beautiful. Let me know if there's any typos.
Is that a sapphire on the top?
It is.
Pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have a report, something they'd like to add? No? Okay. Ryan's report is on page 17.
Yeah, I just want to add something. I mean, it's in the report, but just to discuss it, you might have questions about it. As I say, the vault's been really busy, and we've had this uptick in incidents and thus suspensions. So you notice a lot of suspensions in the report, but we've been very proactive about that, and youth services and our security team are working together, and we're just being more diligent and assertive with the teenagers that come in and letting them know very early on how they should conduct themselves. And already this month we've seen things get better. So we would like to have the teens. We want them to come and use the library. Of course we want that. But obviously we want them to follow our policy, behavior policy. So just wanted to give you an FYI, because that's pretty alarming when you look at this. That really stands out, those
The fighting
suspensions.
was what I was, I thought, what in the world? I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
So-
What are they thinking?
It's teenagers and not realizing how they should be conducting themselves. So if you think about it, after, kids go to school at all ages, and they have to be there on their best behavior in school, then they get out of school, and it's natural for them to want to kind of release some of that, so.
Take it outside.
Yeah.
What school do your children go to?
As parents, we think they try harder at it in school than out of school, though.
Okay.
Not always successfully, but they do try harder.
Oh, and then the other thing to point out, if you this on page 24, we submitted our War of the Worlds display to American Libraries, and they published it on their website. So, a pretty cool display. I mean, we've had a nice run of displays. I mean, they're always, Nancy, Latoya, they always do a great job. They take turns that display in the front, and this was a
Terrific.
really neat one. So,
Anything else for Ryan? Okay, we have some financials.
We did.
At long last, we have
Yeah.
financials. But, we don't have audited hard copies yet?
No, we've got the draft report, which I sent electronically to you, yeah, and Joe, but I don't.
Did I get a form like to sign that I reviewed it, like?
We can get it. We have until 11:30 to sign it. So
Tonight? Okay.
so we can. Well, yeah, I guess tonight. So we can print that and sign it. Yeah.
So can you print the draft and,
Yeah. Sure.
like, so I can do it while I do this, listen to everybody?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
But you wanna go through the problems that we had with them? And then what we're doing?
Well, I thought we were going to talk more about the audit at the next
Okay,
at
so
the
talk
committee of the whole. Yeah.
Well, that's what delayed this, so we'll talk
Right,
about that
right.
later.
So you don't have to have a printed copy of that tonight, then?
If I need to sign off on this form.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was sent off on it tonight.
Oh, on the
So-
form,
Yeah.
okay.
So if they don't get a qualified person, somebody who's a CPA, to say they look them over, they agree with them, they don't see anything that, and there's usually a checklist that goes with that. Or I can just, you know what, don't worry about it, I'll go home and I'll submit it to them.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you were ready to sign. I thought you were still looking it over. That's why.
No, I just didn't look it over yet. So, I can do that when I get home, because that, I would rather do that, because then I can focus on that 100%. So,
Yeah, and we.
but that's what delayed our financial statements,
The audit.
because
and
we
so.
had to make journal entries to catch up.
But, and Andrea and I talked about this, and I called and talked to the gentleman responsible for the audit, and you know, they apologized to us because the timeline is way late, it's not acceptable, and it's not gonna happen again. We're not satisfied with the timeline. It should have been done, like October, and you know, at the very latest. So we're on top of that. Literally, we just got that final draft into last week, yeah, so. That's why it's not there yet. So,
Yeah. Right
and then they gave us a couple of. I won't even get into it. They gave us a couple of reasons why it's delayed, but
they
I
could
think
have
we
given us
could
the
agree,
journal
yeah.
entries that we could have then given to Lauterbach and Amon and proceeded with our year. Even if we had to make if during the review process, one of the reviewers see this, that one adjustment's not exactly right, then we make another one, but at least we're proceeding. Because our monthly review of our financial statements is part of our internal control. So we really can't wait until November to start looking at our monthly financial statements.
And we've had a lot of trouble with this auditing company, have we not?
Nope, this is
No?
our
This is our
first
first-
year
oh,
with
okay, all right.
the
Yeah.
bookkeeping company.
Gotcha, okay.
So Ryan is setting up a conference call with Lauterbach and Amon,
Right.
the bookkeeping company.
Okay.
And so we'll give them a
Second?
stern talking to, so. But
did you have enough time to
I
to
did look
review?
at the two sets of financial statements, and Doug's variance report covered it well. I am concerned about our bookmobile. We seem to be already starting the repairs.
We are concerned as well.
Is
But-
there, this is more like a future planning thing, but, you know, an engine overhaul instead of replacing the whole thing? Or is
Well-
it the whole thing?
Well, as we start to talk about the next fiscal year's budget, which will be early in the year, we're gonna have to take a hard look at the bookmobile situation and where we have it in the capital plan and see if we need to move that and what our options are. So sure, I mean, I don't know how feasible, to be honest, I have no idea how feasible that is.
Is there any pattern to the repairs? What kind of repairs? Is it one thing that keeps breaking, or is it always something different?
It seems like it's always something different, and you know, I think I don't know. Like I would probably, you know, Noreen has much more experience with the bookmobile than I do, and like, what's your take? Not to be on the spot, but don't we kind of feel the same way? It's just kind of this random stuff that keeps happening. It's
Yes, and I think, but pretty soon there'll be like a whole new bookmobile.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's happening kind of all at once, but once it's taken care of, you've got that all new. So I really don't know. They say, I mean, one bookmobile has to practically burn for us. I don't know, but we have to pay attention, and you can't not get it fixed. So we're keeping a record, we always have a record of everything that's been replaced, they had to replace the furnace and all that kind of stuff. And it has happened, and that's really kind of sad for Angela. It's her first year as head of outreach, and she's handled it beautifully. But, and some of this stuff is, we have to haul it up to Wisconsin about now and again.
Yeah, that's the trick. It's not, and we lose service time because some of these fixes, it's not like you can go to McClure's Garage, for example, that they work on this. You got to go up to Wisconsin. It's very specialized. So
Maybe between now and our next budgeting cycle, which, by the way, we're
close.
only 4 months away from starting the new.
Why do we have to take it to
I can't wait.
So
Because
Jake-
it's so specialized, and that like certain parts and service we can only get done there because it's such a unique vehicle, the bookmobile.
Oh.
We do some of it right up at that I-94.
Oh, yeah.
They're wonderful. Ken Razor's up there. He's been wonderful. I mean, I can remember going up there for a backup camera many, many years ago, and he will make sure we get it back on the road that night and work on it, first thing in the morning, so.
But the big repairs.
But the
have to
big
go on.
repairs for the engine and stuff like that.
So maybe we should be looking at in next year's capital budget, although we have other things going on that we might need to move up. Maybe if we can get away with a big overhaul on the engine, because we've replaced half of it already. And, the timing of when it's gonna be off-road, because that'll take a while. And just like when we closed down part of the library, maybe let's
Yeah, we can look at
put
our
that
options.
on our radar. Because someday it's gonna break and be broken, and we're gonna be without our branch.
Yeah. So we'll have to do an analysis of what our options are with the bookmobile, and I don't think we're in the position to really say, what makes sense in the next several years. So we'll have to figure that out.
We have to prioritize that,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
getting
sure.
to that point, right?
I mean, we have such a large district that's really important to our patrons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of curiosity, how much does a bookmobile
It's
cost?
just what I was wondering, George, what I
Oh,
should.
$250,000. I mean, ballpark, right? If not more. I mean,
But that'd probably be, you could get one for $250, $230.
Wow.
which there's one in the last capital plan. I think it's several years out, but that's something that's on our radar already.
How old is the one we have?
I'm awful on this, I think it's like 9? I'd have to go back and check for you, but we all think it's newer, because it just seems like we just got it. But I'll get that and send it to you.
How many miles, do you have any idea?
Not
how many
that many
on it?
miles.
Really?
I mean, enough, more than we've had in the past for the same amount of years, but you're not going too far. each
No,
time.
right.
Yeah, and it's such a complicated machine, really. I mean, because there's all kinds of things. It's not just the engine and the tires and everything that you would do with your vehicle, but the generator and the heating and cooling and the cabinetry. There was like some issues with the floorboard that was like caving in. There was something got in there. So it's very complicated. There's all kinds of little things that can happen. So it is like a library on wheels. It's kind of like a little building and a vehicle all in one. That's what it is. So that's
I
what
think
makes
the
it.
one thing we've been kind of lucky is that generator is usually a nightmare, and we did find out at the last bookmobile conference that they're replacing, the newest, no more generators. It's gonna be all giant batteries, which just replace the batteries instead of having to deal with generators. I can remember when we used to have to do something to the generator, and I'd go back there and, bleed the lines is what it was called, and I literally have a big keychain,
Oh.
and it hit something and knocked me across the room.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh wow.
I was fine, it wasn't.
Oh, my.
So this is generators where that's not too bad, so.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking stitch in time saves 9, and I'd rather plan for it than
Oh yeah, of course.
be without it. Does anybody else have any financial statements for July or August? I know it's November.
We're hoping though we'll have September, October for committee of the whole. So
That'll be nice.
So you wanna make a motion?
I move to accept the July and August financial statements as presented.
Anyone want a second?
I'll second it.
Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Okay.
Kind of touched
Yes.
on B and C.
Yeah,
Is there any other questions about that?
yeah. I'm sorry?
I said we touched on B
Yeah,
and
we
C.
already did B and C,
Unless
okay.
there are questions about that.
Okay, so Secretary's report is page 147. We put this on new business because somebody was absent,
I was fine.
we wanted to avoid someone having to take it off. So, you know who you are. You can abstain. So can I have a motion to approve the,
I just have a question.
uh-huh,
Unless I'm reading this wrong, it says that I'm present and I'm absent.
Wow.
it does.
So does.
And
There it is.
I'm always thinking.
So good that we have three of us reading this, isn't
I
it?
was not here, so
Yes, okay.
I should be taken off of present.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I move that we approve the minutes as amended.
I'll
Second.
okay, and Kathleen seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
We need to let Gina know that she has to fix it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, library card is the one we're skipping, correct?
Correct.
All right.
And question about that, are we
Yeah.
putting that on December or can it wait till January?
Noreen could probably speak to that better.
Well, Ryan, we have to check, there's some new laws about it.
Right, yeah.
And then we're looking at it, we could have it ready.
I mean, yeah, my goal is to have it ready next month.
But
Kathleen,
is
unless
anything
you
about
are
it related to
opposed.
fine free?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
it doesn't,
fine.
does it have to be? I mean, would it be better to move it to January? We could, I mean,
No,
but,
I mean, what I'm saying is, all we did was change a line that referred back to fines and fees or something, I can't remember, but it wasn't, we don't need it for that. It was
Okay.
what we- Since they had this new thing that Roger sent us, we have to check.
I'll just mention that we did cancel January committee of the whole, so if it's gonna go to January, it has to go to the regular board meeting, just, yeah. I'm just letting
That's
Noreen
right,
know,
since we
yeah.
only have one.
And so you already have a copy that you don't need me to get a clean copy
I
from
never
Gina?
need you to get me a clean copy, I have access to them all the time. Okay. But thank you.
Okay, so 3023, page 152.
Right, there was a lot of discussion about this last month, and so we needed time to rework it. And Noreen, do you want to speak to any additional changes that were made?
This was like a total throw up in the air, okay, because it was in the first section, and after we went back and looked at what your concerns are and how unclear it was, we did some other things. Meg and I went back and forth, and there were mainly three things in the first couple of sections that we wanted people to understand. Number, that the fee was non-refundable, that it's kind of tricky because you wanted them to know when they're gonna be billed and when they're gonna be blocked, but it's different depending on where you check out the materials. So if I put a hold on a main library item, and it comes to me on the bookmobile, wherever it's checked out is where it's, all the rules apply. So we're really happy that we got it down for each of them, split it into main library
Good.
check
Yeah, that
out.
makes
Yeah,
sense. Very clear.
good.
And that it's clear.
Yeah.
And
Good
then
job.
the other thing that we wanted, and I know we talked a little bit about this, is having the notices, courtesy notices, as an addendum. Well, Meg very pushed it right in my face, that it's really true, those are courtesy notices. You don't ever usually want to do that. They are responsible to get the books back when we get the due date slip. The courtesy notices, we cannot be responsible if the mail doesn't get through or they don't check their email. So we do those courtesy notices, and we do them, a whole bunch of them, but we didn't want to include that in this policy. So, Meg, am I missing some other things?
I would say the other thing with that is it's kind of dependent on a lot of third-party vendors as well. So it's something that we don't, just in general, it's something that we don't have complete control over, and I feel like kind of putting it in a policy makes it seem like it's something completely within our control, and, while we wish it was, it's not.
And then we moved everything else around to fit where it was. There's a couple things, and what was that we didn't change because of the fact that it could change under the next upgrade?
Yeah, one of the things we left out of the, I think it's the section 1 where we talk about kind of just the process of not charging fines, overdue fees. And then when you would be blocked and billed, we considered putting in the referral to the recovery service. And we use unique management. We didn't do that at this point because basically there's some moving parts here. That's hopefully going to change based on something Unique is able to do now that they weren't in the past. But we can't do that until our ILS is upgraded, which we were hoping to do this month, but there's kind of some technical issues with Innovative, the company that does that. So it seems like that's something that's gonna be delayed. So it's kind of up in the air right now. So that could change the timeline on that, so we didn't really want to put anything specific.
Up there, it's still under Article 4. And the only other thing I would like to bring to your attention is I think you might want to with this one, and that would just be something we could go back and change quickly, put as effective as we are fines free. Many other things we do, and then because if somebody were to look at this, once it's posted, they would think it's fines free right now.
So in the first sentence, public libraries
could
not
just-
charge fines for overdue materials as of, what was it, December
Right.
something?
It'll be January 2nd.
Oh, January 2nd, okay.
Yes,
So you just started out effective January 2nd.
exactly.
Oh, that's
We will
well,
not charge fines for overdue materials. Is that
So-
okay?
Yeah.
I also have one, I think this is a whole lot better than where we were before, but shouldn't we take fines and out of the title and just call it fees? Because I
No,
don't see.
because there's fees at the rest of it. We have all the fees in Articles.
Yeah, but are there any
4, 5, 6,
fines
7,
here?
8, pardon?
Yes, there are.
Where?
Well, I don't know if you can call it a fine. I would still call it a fine, the $5 non-refundable processing fee.
Well, then it's a fee.
But I think it was discussed that we wanted, for, at least for now, because if
Yeah.
people were gonna look at, to find out about it, they would
Oh.
look at fines and fees. It's up to you, we can take it out, but
I think basically right now, our thought was it's just referring to the fact that we don't have fines. And because we addressed
I'll
that.
go with that.
So
But
we
that
have
maybe
to-
like down the road, that's not.
I was just gonna say maybe next year
relevant,
after we've
yeah.
had a year under our belt,
Just-
just get
yeah.
rid of that. Yeah.
good point.
I think this is a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah, it's very
Mhm.
clear, I think.
any other questions or comments about 23, or 3023?
And a lot clearer.
Well,
I agree. Good job.
Yeah.
Shorter too.
And shorter,
It
yeah.
would have been funny if you'd seen Meg and I. First I
Crossing-
tried something, she comes in, but we work really great together.
Yeah.
And see, now I don't even have to know the question, when will I be charged? 4
Right
weeks
there.
from the date,
Right.
the due date.
But thank you for pointing out to us that it wasn't clear, and it really
Well,
wasn't.
that's really me looking from the patron side, what day do I gotta get it back?
Exactly.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion to accept this as amended?
I mean, as
Can you
presented,
say that, or do you say that?
isn't it as presented?
No, because we're
No, because
we're
they
amending
made
the
the
first
change
line.
effective.
Oh,
As a minus.
First line is
Did I say that?
effective,
I think I
effective
said-
January 2nd.
Is that right? I say that? Okay, so who would like to make a motion to approve policy 3020 fines and fees as amended?
I will move to approve policy 3023, amending Article 1 to add the starting date and otherwise as presented.
I second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Jennifer. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Okay, next is meeting rooms.
Okay, 3050 meeting rooms are on page 155. And this was another one, or no, we didn't, I didn't think there were changes in this.
There was just one change.
Oh, okay.
And if you look on page 158,
Okay,
it's in the fourth full paragraph from the top, if an organization is denied. And this was to make sure they understood the process,
okay.
because we want, Joe had pointed out that we have that in other policies, so that was the clarification, that paragraph.
So we let them come to the board for revocation of privileges, we let them come for, what's the other thing? Something else?
And there's just, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any other comments or questions about 3050?
So I move the board approve policy 3050, meeting rooms as presented. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Cool. Levy ordinance is page 161.
Are there any questions about this? Jennifer, this is your first time for the levy ordinance. This is really one of the most important things the board will do, because this is authorizing levying taxes for funds for the library. And there's a description of how this works. It's kind of a complicated process at the end of the day, but I think it's been simplified. That second question on page 159, the way this works, how it's determined what comes into the library. And as is pointed out, it's not as if the library district can levy whatever amount it wanted and would receive it. Due to the property tax extension limitation law, it does dictate, what the library is able to levy, which essentially is no more than 5% or the consumer price index, whichever figure is lower. So that's kind of, does it make sense? Any questions? Any other questions about this?
Okay, can I have a motion to approve this ordinance, please?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion? Okay, this should be a roll call.
Roll call vote. Ayes.
No, you'll read everybody's name and they individually say.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Katsinas,
Aye.
Parker-Peasy,
Aye.
Chang,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Linzau,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Beckwith.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it.
Cool. All right, we've got, anyone want to suggest items for next time? Sorry, did I miss something?
F.
Oh, bonuses, my
Yeah.
mistake. Thank you, my goodness. Okay, so, do you know about these, Jennifer? Okay, maybe you could explain.
Yeah, so, and this was discussed at committee of the whole, I think, but every year, we request on the budget bonuses for staff. So this is, what the staff will see it as an amount of $50, but what the board has done is they've approved an amount that, allocates for, basically everyone getting a $50 check and no withholdings or anything. So it's essentially it's a $50 check for staff, what they see. And in addition to the check, there's that wonderful note that Joe has written for the past several years. Just to so it shows the appreciation of the board for the amazing staff that we have. So that's the idea behind this, and to make it available to the public via YouTube, the wonders of technology. This is here on the agenda for the board to formally make a motion to for the year-end bonuses. So.
Okay, who would
Anything
like
else
to
to
read
add, or-
that motion for approval, please?
What page is it on?
It's on
It's on
page
two.
2 of the agenda.
I'll read it.
Page 2.
Oh, why not?
Page 2. There we go, thank you.
I move that the board celebrate WNPL's wonderful library staff for their service to our community, and that we acknowledge their excellent work with the staff bonuses included in the current year budget prior to December 31st, 2018.
I'll second that.
I wish it could
Anyone,
be more.
yeah,
They deserve so much more.
anyone want to have anything for discussion on this? Okay, let's have this be a roll call too, please.
Okay. Linzau,
Aye.
Ketman,
Aye.
Sutton,
Aye.
Chang. Aye. Katsinas,
Aye.
Parker-Peasy,
Aye.
Beckwith.
Aye.
Okay. Ayes have it.
Cool. All right, now, items for next time. Anybody have anything besides what's on here? No? Okay. All right, time for exec session. Can I have a motion for that?
Yeah, somebody.
So moved. No, you gotta read the thing.
Here's three. I make a motion that the board enter into executive session 51 LCS 120/2,
Parentheses.
C1, to discuss the performance of the executive director.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All
I
those
do
in-
have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do we have to say at this point that we'll invite him in later?
No, that's it, next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Okay. So you put that.
7:31.
It is 8:29 and we are back in session.
All right.
Anyone want to speak in public forum?
Yeah, I would just like to, as someone who has spent a lot of time, and Joe can attest to that, working on the appearance, personal appearance for the staff, I just want to.
I was
let
kidding
know
with you.
that
Oh, good
administration may approve dress down days, I highlighted that for you. We would never have let that one go. So,
I stand corrected.
That's all you need.
Oh, that's hilarious.
it's funny.
But you guys didn't let us know, because I always dress appropriately. I didn't get blue jeans today.
Well, it's for staff.
That's okay.
I think
had
the
to
board
go.
can dress how really wants. There's a precedence that's been set in the
That's
past,
okay.
so.
I gotta impress the Chinese people who've made me starve.
Oh, my.
Okay, so anything else? Okay.
Okay.
Announcements besides what you see on here? Anyone have any other announcements?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
Okay.
If I hear gobble gobble one more time at Jewel, I think I'm gonna snap or something though, because that's just annoying.
So you chose to, oh, yes, we're good.
Who would like to move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. Okay, 8:30. That took a minute.